Interesting. I do remember liking her clothes and thinking she was very fashion forward. She kind of reminded me of a brunette Barbie.
At the age that you were when that show was on, you thought the term fashion forward? Or you're thinking back now?
No, I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah, television back then. Let's see, you had, I don't know what show that would. I mean, that girl, they had sort of a similar walking through town intro. I don't remember that girl that much. That much. The
I don't really either, apparently.
Marlo Thomas.
Thomas, that's
right?
it.
Danny Thomas's daughter.
Danny Thomas.
He was a famous actor.
Huh.
And let's see. But I don't know what other show that would have been. But there were a whole series of shows there. You had the spin-off from Mary Tyler Moore, which was what was that Valerie Harper movie? Show, I mean. Was that her name? Maybe that was her
Valerie
TV
Harper?
name. Yeah, I can't remember. They all run together.
That would not
There's
be
a lot of
the
TV
Valerie
in the
that
70s.
married that rock star.
No,
Valerie
that was Valerie
Bertinelli.
Bertinelli from Wouldn't She Have One Day at a Time? Oh, we may have an answer. Ba-bum. Somebody's hit the Google this morning. Why would you? How would we know that somebody called to give us an answer? That's our sound of rescue.
That's my special sound effect.
Right, exactly.
Aha, thank you, Sally. Sally Slager says, "You're right, RJ. It is that girl."
Wow, and that was just a guess. Thanks, Sally.
So did she have long hair?
I don't remember her having long hair.
Definitely longer than Mary Tyler Moore's.
Possibly, I was a guy and I was 10. I was in my 10s. But same sort of
in your
attitude
10s?
In my 10s, yeah. The teens-ish, pre-teens, teens. But also, modern woman out there sort of show.
Right. Yep, very independent female.
Had a chance to see Sally and Jackie yesterday, and Denny stopped by because we were working on the water heater at the church. So
you confuse me. Every time you put Sally and Jackie together, I have to stop and think, no, not that Jackie. Because in my mind, Sally and Jackie Jones are connected.
Correct.
I don't know.
And they are.
Jackie. Yes.
And so are Sally and Jackie Tharp.
She's going to be the other Jackie to me. Sorry, Jackie. I don't mean that in an offensive way. Just need to categorize it in my brain.
Okay. So stopped by and chat with them. And it was interesting because Sally said she was listening to our conversation and she brought up the whole city meaning chaos thing too. She goes, I don't know what Jackie brought up, but when we were talking about yesterday about wilderness. And I said I'm still having trouble just grasping the word wilderness meaning order because I put wild not with order. But but she was looking at me like, why don't you get that?
I know. I'm like, why I don't know why you don't get that.
You go out
agriculturally, right? Like,
right, but you go out to get peace, and I'm like, I know, but I'm looking at the word wild, and I just keep on swimming in my own head. But I had a chance to chat with them a little bit. What's that? Swimming in my own head? No, but it's where I reside. There's a big pool there to work through.
I saw a shirt once and it said, I live in my own world, but it's okay. Everybody here knows my name.
That's good. What's interesting about that?
It was funny at the time, but now I'm thinking like that wasn't so funny. Maybe it was just the person that was wearing it.
Could be. But you had to do this. Like you talk about me talking out loud and typing. You did this with your shirt. I live in my own world. Like you're following the words across your shirt. That's funny. It's funny how we just do those things like that. We don't even think. Like,
thanks for pointing it out, RJ.
Well, no, I just because I do that with like I have to talk when I'm like texting or whatever. I'm like, and we were talking the other day. Both girls have done spelling things, and so there's different tricks to try to help you spell. And you think about the different people in spelling bees and such that do,
weird things.
Yeah, like what would this be called? Gesture-y things to help them get through. And there's people who write on their hand or they write in the air or whatever it might be. And so I was trying to come up with something for that for Lauren the other day when we were trying to work on something. She's working on state capitals right now.
I do not remember. I must have just been absent for a long period of time at some point in my elementary school career because I do not remember learning the state capitals or even, kind of sort of the 50 states a little bit, but definitely do not remember the capitals.
I would have bet I thought I knew some capitals were different than others.
That's awesome.
I-
yeah.
They're
Summer-
like through some of them. Now I knew most of them, but there were a couple. I'm like, wait, are you sure? It's not. What was one that I really hung up with? Oh man, I cannot remember. It was maybe.
Indianapolis.
No, I knew that one, and I knew Chicago, Illinois. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? No, that's Springfield, right?
That's Springfield. Ding.
Springfield?
There was something. Maybe Oregon. I thought Oregon was Portland, but it's Salem. It's Salem.
Really?
And Portland loses out all over because it's not Portland, Maine either. It's
Bummer.
Augusta, Maine, or something like that.
Poor Portland.
Poor Portland. Popular town.
So
not
what's
a capital
Wisconsin?
anywhere. Madison. And that's when she struggled with. Madison.
Maybe you should take her there.
How
How far
no
is
reason, really. It's a few hours.
it? Oh,
I mean, it's
Maybe not.
They go to the Dells. It's a little further along than the Dells. Not as much fun there for kids.
yeah. Well,
Unless you're a college kid.
she'll probably
it's a big
remember
college
that
town.
capital for the rest of her life if you drag her there on like a 4-hour trip.
Yeah, but
Like, oh, you remember that one year we were studying
go to
geography
Madison?
and Dad made us go to Madison?
yeah. Or that's another one that was an odd sort of one. Oh, then we had a little debate about the fact that Vermont was Mount Pelier or Montpelier, and she thought it was Mount Pelia. She has this little thing that it's like a computer game thing, and you can push the state and then ask it what the capital is, and it'll say. But the way it pronounced it, she thought it was saying Montpelier. I said, no, it's not it's Montpelier. No, listen, it's Montpelier.
I thought it was Pelier.
Well, it's Montpelier. Well, it may be if you're French. It's spelled that way. Montpelier. But we in the States would call it Montpelier. Welcome to Montpelier. That's what they
I
would
like
refer to it
Pelia.
in Buck Creek.
That's funny.
When they're in Buck Creek. Good morning, Buck Creek.
Good morning, Doug.
Yeah, I told Doug he's got to call someday, just so you know.
Just so I
logged
can
into the
laugh
wrong
hysterically for half an hour.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah. He, I guess I was the only one that didn't make fun of Buck Creek.
See?
Yeah.
Just out of respect for your friend. That's
No,
really nice of you.
Growing up, I mean, I would have thought, wouldn't you think as a kid that would have been something you would have glommed onto? I missed that boat, I guess.
There's still time.
That's settled in my head. I think when I think of Buck Creek, I think of fish fry, because they have this giant fish fry every year. I know it doesn't make any sense, but they have. When I was a kid, actually, I remember
Fish are funny too.
they would do this massive fish fry for the volunteer fire department there, and they did it. They used to do it at the old Buck Creek Community Center ball field there, and then it got so big that they do it now at the junior high or the middle school, whatever they call those things down there.
I'm filtering.
Are you?
Yep.
But it was massive. I remember the one year I was going to have they had this huge cake auction every year too. Like they would do like amazing cakes. People would build cakes that looked like tractors or fire trucks, and I always wanted to buy a German chocolate cake, and I never, because German chocolate cakes for some reason, and this is in the 70s, people were buying them for $40.
What?
I know.
It's a cake.
I know. Well, but they'd buy the like really
Did
decorative
Betty
ones.
Crocker not exist yet?
No, I mean it's Buck Creek. It's like it's what they did. But people would buy some of these cakes for a couple $100. Like they do really cool. I mean, they were really
Okay.
cool.
That was a lot of money.
I know.
Back then.
I know. And I like scraped together $12. I'm like, oh, I could buy a cake. And then I'd watch all the German chocolate cakes go woo woo right on by.
They
They'd
made
go,
that noise.
they do, pretty much, because they had an auctioneer and they were like, da, 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 10, 20, 30, 40. It's like, whoa. I didn't get a chance to even pretend to bid.
You never knew you had those auctioneer skills, did you?
Oh my gosh. Damn, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Little 10, 15.
That's awesome.
And
Have you ever been to an auction?
yes, I've actually had to do an auction before.
No.
Actually, I did a cake auction back when I was at CCA. We did a cake contest of some sort. And what was that contest we did? We had, we had a cake
cakewalk?
auction. We had a cake auction. We had a cake decorating contest. That's what it was. And we'd have people who, we had the professional bakers of the area. We had, 5 or 6 of them that participated. And then we had some people who just made cakes. And then people voted with their change for their favorite cake. And then we auctioned them off. Except these kids made this one, and I can't remember if we had a theme or what, but they made this one that was a bathtub. They made a cake that looked like a bathtub, and they had some sort of gel in there as the water, and they made little candy ducks in it, right? Well, they didn't realize they were supposed to sell the cake.
Oh.
And so they brought it in, and I think it, won a prize because it was one of the top cakes. But they didn't want to auction it. They wanted it back, and I felt bad for them. They're like, "Oh, we have to sell our cake." So it's like, you can have it. That's all right.
They wanted to eat it.
They wanted to have it themselves, which was fine.
They could have auctioned,
They could have. They could have bid on it themselves. But, it was traumatic for them. They'd made this cake, and they didn't want to run the risk of losing it, so they couldn't quite grasp the concept. They were very young. I think one of them was in preschool at the church there. And so it was it was just kind of humorous. Oh, we have to sell it? So that was kind of funny. Yeah, I've done a lot of weird stuff in my life.
There's our daily disclaimer.
It is amazing the stuff that we were talking yesterday about the paths that we've been on and the experiences that we garner.
Conversation.
Well, it just is one of those things where I just keep kind of bumping into things that I've done, and it's like they keep coming back up now. It's like, oh yeah, I did that before, and never thought I'd revisit it again, but it's come back up, and I've had this conversation with a couple people recently where, you go through your life wondering where it is that you're going and what it is that you're doing, and you've had, well, I remember when I was looking for a job, I remember the struggle that I had because I had this really eclectic mix of things that I could do, but it wasn't in this market right now. It wasn't like I did anything that really set myself apart. That
I don't know, cake auctioneer. That's pretty unique.
That was another one of those things. Another thing on the list. And
where do you fit that in your resume?
Right, exactly. I was trying to think any applications that I saw that said, "Have you ever auctioned cakes?" No. I could have said yes, but I never saw it. But there was just this weird thing, and I remember talking to Ann about it and just saying, I don't know where I could say this is where I should push. This is where I should try to line everything up and make it a targeted set of experiences that I would be able to put on a resume or go out and apply for something. And so it was very, it was, I don't know if it was discouraging or confusing at a time, but when I was doing that. And so as I found different things to sort of fill time, I wasn't necessarily expanding or wasn't necessarily focusing on anything. I was still sort of expanded into other things. I was talking to somebody, actually, I met the J&J folks, the J&J heating people. I was delivering phone books. At one point in my downtime.
Never done that. Thought about it.
There are people who are good at it, and there are people who, they get it, they know how to do it. I was not one of those people. There was a... I
think I might not excel in that with the whole direction thing.
That would be a challenge.
Yeah.
And the way they they take the post office deliveries plan, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it, for me, worried how the post office delivers mail because, there was a point where I don't
want to know.
Up this way in Franklin, and then skipped this whole section, and I was down 4 blocks on Franklin. I'm like, that makes no sense. I'm going, down to the other end of Franklin where it actually runs out. So did you do it your own way? No, you have to go where they tell you to go.
Oh, see, I probably wouldn't excel at that either.
But there were a lot of phone books in my car. There were a lot of phone books.
I have a lot of windows in my car right now.
Yeah, and they just never seem to go down. I feel like I'm delivering, and it's like there's still more phone books. And so it was an interesting experience, and it's something that I'll tell you, some of these people do it and they know it, and it's just like bam, they've got it down. And so I was like, wow, good luck to you. That was not my calling, I guess, or my capacity to grasp it. Just couldn't quite get because you have to be efficient with it, and that wasn't working for me. What are you doing now?
I'm reading a joke book. I'm trying to find an appropriate joke book.
Would you like to change the channel on the television? That's encouraging.
No, I'm listening.
I understand.
I was even participating.
Yes, by laughing at your joke book.
It was, how do you know I wasn't laughing at you?
I just glanced over here. I'm going to make a real rough change here.
Kajoba.
It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
And it's Can You Eat It Day. Can You Eat It
Can
Day.
you eat it?
So from 7 a.m. I'm sorry, I just glanced down, so this
Wait,
is
what?
7 a.m.
7 a.m.?
They're
Wait,
open at 7?
a.m.? What do
Holy
they
mackerel.
serve? Like
Maybe they
special
have,
breakfast burritos?
Yeah, egg burritos or something like that. I
Or
don't know.
chorizo.
You
Eggs
could eat
and
that all
chorizo.
day. That's not breakfast, is it?
Yeah.
Chorizo.
I mean, you can eat it for lunch. You can eat it
Huevos
for
and
dinner.
chorizo. Chorizo. Yeah, so that's today. And if you don't have one of these certificates, you can swing by one and put them on the board out there so people can get them.
Right.
And it helps out the Can You Dig It Well for Wellness. This is SALT, the folks who were in last week, the Social
Right.
Leadership Action Team.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Social Action Leadership Team. That didn't spell SALT. SLAT. I spelled this SLAT. That's a whole nother group.
Right.
SLAT.
We don't want to go there.
Social Action Leadership Team, the folks that came to visit us last week and talk about this well project that they're working on. And good morning. They're having their fundraising event today, and all I have to do is eat. And man, that's one thing I can do. If there's a fundraiser that I can come in wholeheartedly, it's eat. So you just take this little slip in there and
Have
you
German
tell 'em-
chocolate cake there?
Oh no, stop! It makes me sad to think about German chocolate cake.
Cake should not make you sad.
But it
makes me sad because it's usually glutinous.
Right,
so I'm
right,
like,
exactly.
oh.
German.
Although I did.
No, we
have-
had an amazing German chocolate cake for my birthday here.
Yeah, that was.
That was
I don't know
rather
what was up with that.
deathly.
It deflated.
Wow.
It
But that
was
was
just like,
it. But all that deflation did was like concentrated.
Yeah,
It's
condensed.
just like, get that air out of here. We want more cake. We need a
It's like
higher
those weird
concentration
Hershey
of
Kisses
cake.
where they like. Have you seen those?
No, I don't think so.
They take chocolate out, and then they
They put something
put
in?
air. Yeah, air.
Air?
Yeah, and get this, they have more calories than the
Wait a minute.
right. I know.
Wait, they put air.
They put air.
So it's like-
they take little holes out of the chocolate little Hershey Kiss, and they fill that spot with air.
I think you're misinterpreting
No, I'm
the
not.
manufacturing process.
I have had this conversation
With somebody from Hershey?
several times with many people because it boggles my mind. First of all, that why would you want to put holes in the chocolate and fill it with air? That doesn't make sense.
Now,
to
I
me.
did see they have a.
And how does it have more calories?
It doesn't make any sense. It must not be air. It must be just like liquid calories that they've put into it.
I don't know.
My wife Ann, her cousin is an engineer at Hershey.
Oh, but what?
No, he's not an engineer. He's a
engineer.
food scientist. He's a food scientist at Hershey. So maybe
Really?
we could give Mark a
Yes,
call
please do.
and say, Mark, what are you doing with
No,
the
seriously, please do.
Hershey's?
Yeah.
But I saw a
how do they
commercial
have more
for
calories?
like a candy bar that was like airy, like it was bubbly, but they didn't
Bubbly?
extract chocolate out and put air in. They just made a different mix.
Put like seltzer water in the
I don't know how they
chocolate
did
or
it.
something. How does that work?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it was like lighter. They called it lighter, so that wouldn't have had more calories in it.
You would
Are you sure
think.
this wasn't a dream?
I'm sure. I have had some strange
Dreaming
dreams
about-
lately, but
Hershey's Kisses.
yeah. Nope.
No, that I have not seen that product. They have done things where they put
that's
little
strange, since
slivers
you
of
have TV
almond
and I
in
don't.
it. Yeah, and especially since I watch the Food Network, you'd think that would be something that
I don't know.
we watch this psychotic show called Sweet Genius, and they've
Is
made
that how
up.
they bill it? A psychotic show?
They should.
Okay.
It's this guy who's a famous cake maker, baker. He probably has a
Cake.
better title than that. King Cake guy.
connoisseur?
What's his name? Ben something Israel, I think. But he is eccentric to the
Nothing wrong with that.
capital nth ek capital ek. And he brings in 4 pastry chefs or baker type people so they can become the sweet genius. Are you a sweet genius? And he just big hand
don't know.
gestures and all these different. Are you a sweet genius?
Really? Really?
Yes, really, totally.
That was not an RG
That is
big
not
hand gesture.
me
Wow.
indulging or what's that called?
Well, if
Embellishing.
you're watching the show and
That
it's
was
all about
indulging.
sweetness, then I'd
is
say
funny
that
part.
is a little indulgent.
So he starts out the first round is like they have to make something chocolate, and he has strange ingredients that they have to mix in and inspiration.
Wait,
And so
You have to
he
mix
has this
in the
big
inspiration?
button, and he hits it, and out comes an ingredient, and it's something like there was something like I've never heard of jackfruit. It's in a can, and it's called jackfruit, and it smells. That's the wonderful thing. So somebody have to incorporate this in.
Like smells really bad?
Inspiration, goldfish. I guess it's very pungent was the term that they used.
Because durian smells really bad. That's a very
I don't know.
exotic type fruit.
So then they'll have like a contortionist. And your inspiration is contortionist.
Contortionist.
Yeah.
You're
Are you
supposed to
a
be-
sweet genius? Yeah.
Wow.
Family loves it because
Wow.
it's just way over the top.
Okay, now I'm a little curious, I have to admit.
Sweet genius.
I wonder if I could find it on Netflix or YouTube.
I don't know. It's bound to be on YouTube. But I don't know if like Hulu or something. Hulu? Hulu?
Hoop?
Hulu is a thing that gathers television shows so you can watch them. But anyway, it's a Sweet Genius. And yes, last night was Monday, so it's the marathon of, I always call it dumpsters, drive-ins, and dives, but it's not actually.
That's a whole
It's,
different show.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives with Guy Fieri.
He's an interesting fellow.
He is, and he always talks about Flavortown. My kids have actually drawn pictures of Flavortown.
Flavortown. Really?
It's because just odd things that'll happen, like they'll say that's like a speed bump in Flavortown, like this big meatloaf log or something like that. And it's very funny. He's very humorous.
Yes, he is.
So, anyway, but how did we get on
great
food?
hair.
We were talking about the Qdoba thing today.
Yes.
So probably.
And today's Tuesday. I'm reminding myself early that
It doesn't matter.
yesterday
At the
was-
end, in the last moments is when you need to remind yourself.
I know. I try.
You're just ahead.
I'm
You're one of those forward fashionable women, and you're fashionably early with your wishings of good days.
That's the only thing I'm early with.
Happy Tuesday.
Right. It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday
I need a big
today.
calendar.
Yesterday it was-
Big calendar right behind your head.
Yeah.
With like a flashing light on the day. Maybe
But
just the day.
Right, that'd be all.
Yeah,
Just
'cause
like
then
a marquee.
The other
thing,
days
like
would
Monday.
confuse me.
Exactly.
I'd look at another day and I'd start thinking about it, and then I'd go to speak, and the other day
And
would come out.
that would be where it would go.
And that's what happens. So, it's Tuesday all day.
It is all day until you say Happy Wednesday, and then
I don't think I've gone backwards yet.
No, you haven't.
No,
You're
always
always
the
going
day.
forward because usually we're talking about the next day.
Yep. That's
and
it.
then that's where we sort of get confused. But
I hope at least it's entertaining.
which part? It is for us because
The
I know
mistake.
we laugh about
Right.
it.
We laugh. Yes. Hard not to laugh.
I don't remember saying this, but then I do remember saying it. Somebody brought it up to me where I just looked down and I saw. This is a weird connection. So I saw the first fruits thing and it made me think of our visit from Brad Scott last week. And I said that the New Testament I summarized the New Testament as I told you so. Right? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty profound. I was thinking about that the other day, and I thought,
I don't know
"That guy's
about
a
profound.
really bright guy,
That was,
and here I am, just like kind of, just
keeping it real.
matter-of-factly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
keeping it real.
So there's
I think
somebody. Here's
Jesus
person
was
with
a
a little
pretty
car.
keep it real. Okay, I don't get it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I was hoping she'd like back up so we could see what kind of car it was.
Yeah, hey, can you back up so we can see what kind of car that
Can you
is?
back into your spot so we can see the name of your car?
Yeah, it's this little bitty Jeep, and
It's the smallest Jeep I've ever seen.
it just kind of confuses me because Jeeps are not necessarily meant to be big,
It's Heather.
but
I know Heather. I know who
hi
that
Heather,
was.
come back and show us your car again. It just didn't look like
Henderlong.
Henderlong. Heather Henderlong.
Yeah.
That's
She's drawing a blank there. She's a runner.
Phonetically fun name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She and her husband Todd have a running timing thing, and they do a lot of runs. So when we did our run here's a crazy small world thing, when they did timing for our 5K stuff that we did with CCA. We did our walk for, what do we call that thing? Run for Shelter.
Oh,
I just
that
ran.
that was witty.
Run, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't come up with it. Somebody prior to me. We kept it going for a couple more years, but then Run for Shelter. Yeah, I thought it was a good name too, and it's probably not happening anymore. But
Probably not.
Yeah, I haven't seen them for a long time.
You just did.
I just did,
One half
and we were
anyway.
making fun of her car. Well, we weren't making fun of it. I was
We weren't
curious
making fun of
about
it.
It
Yeah, I
reminds
just
me of.
was surprised it was a Jeep.
Yeah, it's like the size of one of those Subaru things.
It kind of looked like a Jeep station wagon.
Yeah, and Subaru, I can't remember what kind of not Legacy. Subaru has that vehicle that's kind of a small SUV thing. So I think of Jeeps as being bigger and bulkier. That was a
Hardier.
smaller.
Yeah, that
little
did not
Jeep.
look like 4-wheel drive to me. So, which
Yeah, I told you.
is a
that's what it
fun.
was.
What?
Tiny just reminded me. I said it was "See, I told you so."
Oh,
My summary of the New Testament. Tiny had shared with us some names for our weekly
Ding,
shows
ding.
last week.
some names for our weekly shows. What?
Monumental Monday, and then we have Testimony Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Not sure where we go with that.
can't go there.
and Friendly Friday for our
Friendly
local
Friday,
new
huh?
music show. Yeah, so he's been working creatively too. For us, lots of good folks adding to our little morning mess.
We
here.
like feedback.
All right.
Feedback is fun. So
yeah, there's
it's Tuesday and we don't have
Testimony Tuesday. It has been it's just been crazy busy, and unfortunately, the radio takes a little. What's that? Takes a backseat to us. Yeah, what was that? Are you still reading your joke book over there?
I just picked it up. What's Superman's toughest job?
I don't know.
Remembering which phone booth he left his clothes in. That's funny.
What's funnier is your outward laughter. That joke.
It's funny.
Sounds like something that like a first grader would.
Well,
around
yeah,
saying.
this is my Nicholas's book.
Oh, okay.
He's in 2nd grade.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's why
And
it's funny.
you have it why?
Because he's not with me. So when
So you kept this book.
Yeah.
You've taken the joy out of his life. You're not going to have your mom with you. I'm taking your fun too. You'll have no jokes.
No, so I
Mr.
can tell him
Jokemaster.
jokes when we talk on the phone.
Oh, okay. So
Right.
you can share them
I can
with him.
share them with him.
That
Yes.
makes that's a much happier story than the story I was going down. Yeah, so Testimony Tuesday is taking a bit of a hiatus. A hiatus.
A what?
A hiatus. A hiatus. That would be like a moment
Hiatus.
of time off.
I know what it is. I just didn't know what you were trying to say.
It sounds like a Western word to me. I just had to say it like I was a cowboy or something.
That's
No, this
Not-
is like a straight. When we were together last week, I can't remember how we got down after our team dedication for banquet. Somehow we were talking about. Somebody brought back up to me that I had mentioned something about herding cats.
what?
Not herding cats, H-U-R-T, but herding, H-E-R-D.
Oh,
Herding-
yeah. I think I vaguely remember this conversation. Actually, I think I had the very same reaction.
Herding cats, H-E-R-D-I-N-G, and there's an EDS commercial from the Super Bowl a few years back that just still, to this day, cracks me up.
Right.
Just
That's how
is
we
the
get on that.
Funniest,
Yeah.
one of the funniest commercials of all time. So subtle, so smart, and so well done. Lots of so.
You should find that and post it for me so I can look at it.
Have I not?
I don't
Did I
think so.
not post it? My
I don't
gosh,
remember
what a
that part.
letdown that was. Let me see if I can find it. Herding cats. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Cats are smart.
When you bring a herd of short hairs into town, you ain't lost a one of them. There ain't nothing better. There ain't a better feeling
Really?
in the
Is-
world.
Is that like the actual copy from the?
That's what it is.
Wow.
But they're all cowboys, and they're driving cats across the plains. Oh my
It's-
gosh, it's so funny. It is so funny.
Apparently.
Herding cats. All right, I'll put it up on the website.
All right. Wait, where are you
There
putting
is.
it?
I'll put it up on our Facebook page.
Okay.
EDS, an HP company. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. They are an HP company now. Let's see. Let's see if we can find the official one. Herding cats.
That's a funny one.
That's
Why
like
did
reading
Humpty
jokes
Dumpty?
Jeez.
This man right here is my great grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family.
That's funny. There's the epic music.
It's
not fair, I can't see it.
Holding together 10,000 half wild short hairs, well, that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here. And if you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds, you know?
You see the movies, you hear the stories. I'm living a dream. Not everyone can do what we do.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost a one of them, ain't a feeling like it in the world.
It still cracks me up. It is one of the
kitties
smartest
were
commercials I've
very
ever
cute.
seen.
It was smart. Why?
Because herding cats is not it's not something people actually do, but it's a
Right.
phrase that people use. It's like when you're in some sort of a, I think I've explained it before, when you're trying to take on a project and there's a lot of other things, it's like herding, lots of things going on in it.
Never heard that before.
Oh my gosh. It's like herding cats, like trying to get cats all to do the same thing and go in the same direction at the same time. And so EDS uses it as a reach out. That's what they do. They're project management people. They came in or they would come in, they consult, and they'd say, okay, here's the big thing. We're going to get them all together in the same direction, get them all going in the same direction. So so they actually then lived out a phrase that was probably never meant to be lived out,
Right, but it's funnier knowing what EDS does now.
that they're a consulting firm.
Yes.
I don't know. Are they still even around?
I don't know.
I'm not even sure.
But, I guess contextually, it's funny.
yeah, so
Without knowing
herding
what they
cats.
do. Not so much.
Well, but if you knew the phrase herding cats, then
I didn't.
I know that's why I said that it's like one of those here is maybe the wrong way to operate, and my cousin made a funny tie into this. My cousin's a comedian, and you know how people will say, if you touch just one life, it's a life worth living, or if you do this thing and one person reacts. My cousin's a comedian, and so he would say, and as wrap up of the show, would say something along the lines of, tonight if I've made just one person laugh, I'm probably not going to last very long in this business, because that wouldn't be the way a comedian would be able to make their business. But
It's better than not making anybody laugh.
they're not
Just
going to bring
saying.
you back. If you go to a comedy club and one person laughs, it's not going to be a good career builder.
True.
So there's times where I appreciate the fact that somebody, and I'll do this sometimes, you make a comment that maybe one or two people get, and it's like an inside joke. And you I have an appreciation for people who do that, and I do it and hope that people appreciate it too. So when someone has a real vague reference, and we do this all the time because we'll talk about stuff and like the New Art Show thing, and you're like, what? Or somebody said when we were talking about logins in Messina, and I mentioned that we brought that up. I brought that up 3 other times, and people went, Messina? It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Frank knew what you were talking about.
Right, and then I think interestingly, on top of that, then there was a reference on the show Psych about Kenny Loggins, and then they went down the whole Loggins and Messina thing, and somebody didn't know who Jim Messina was in that
Awesome,
scenario
I feel
either.
validated.
And there was a
Thank you.
reference to House at Pooh Corner that they say it was just like, wow, they're like it was.
They're watching it. They're listening.
Well,
they're listening to our
morning,
show.
Alan.
Morning,
They
Alan.
were. Hey,
He's wearing a cross. Looks like
wait,
a tiny
Alan.
cross. Hey,
Alan,
Alan,
come
come
back in here a second.
Come on in.
Well, we're just gonna pull a man off the street.
It's Testimony Tuesday. We can do what we want.
Oh wait, it's locked.
Oh,
That was a bad joke, Alan. Sorry. That's Miss Joke Book over there. We're just pulling people off the street this morning. How are you doing, Alan?
Okay.
Hey, you want to sit and join us for a couple minutes? Sure. Here, pull that microphone over in front of you there. You've got your banquet cross on.
Yes, I do.
Turn this on here. And we were talking about you actually yesterday when you walked by, because you had I saw you walking by. I thought, oh, you had gone to banquet this past weekend.
Yeah,
How was the experience?
it was great.
Yeah, you're still wearing your cross. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Actually, you went to walk to Emmaus. I'm sorry, banquet's this weekend. You went to walk to Emmaus.
Yes, I did.
That's right. How was it for you?
It was a great experience
Excellent.
that I would recommend it if
Can you pull that
anybody
down just a little bit more?
if anybody had a chance to go.
Yeah.
That they'll be having one, I believe, in the fall.
Yeah, there's a men's walk. Mm-hmm. I'm confusing my banquets and walks. There's a men's walk in the fall. There's a men's banquet this weekend. There's a women's walk this weekend, and our pal and office gal Lisa will be going to that, right?
office girl. Yeah,
Office girl.
That's Lisa.
So you went. It was out in Winfield, right? That's where you
Yes.
you went in. You were Cliff put together the. You as was sponsored you on this walk, right?
Yes, he did.
Excellent. Can you give us a little summary of the weekend for you? How did it I don't know, grab you or move you, or how
How
did
did
it work
it
for
impact you?
Impact. That's a better word.
Well, it was a
Ding. I need a little bell.
impact.
Ding, ding.
It was a great impact for me. A great experience. that it even drawed me closer to the Lord.
Awesome.
And not only was some of the people there inspirational to me, but when I told my story to them, it made them, it was an inspiration to them because I was focusing on God
Excellent.
despite what I was going through.
Right. Alan, we met Alan. Tiny brought him to one of our study groups that we have here. We were having on Thursdays, and he's participating in those. And then I met Cliff from there, and Cliff brought him to the Walk to Emmaus. I think it was you and Greg went as well, right?
Yes.
And then Joe Rice,
Yes.
his nephew, as well. So Cliff brought, and then Tiny was supposed to go, but his grandmother had passed away, and thought there was some funeral activities that he needed to be involved in, and so he wasn't able to make it, but it's going to plan to go in the fall. And so they meet again in October, I think, or is it September? I don't remember which. Did they tell you which was?
I don't have it on me, but
Oh, okay.
I believe it is in October.
Okay. And as we've talked about, if people are interested, we can get that information to them. So, but a good experience. Had a good time.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And one thing, they are believing like I do, that we need to get over the denomination bit.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're a Lutheran background, it's open to all denominations.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there are no denominations in heaven,
That's
right?
right.
In the kingdom of
That's
heaven,
right.
no
Morning. Hey,
denominations.
that was Frank.
Good morning, Frank.
I didn't see him throwing papers out. I thought maybe he was delivering updates about the life tree thing this week. So he must be doing something else this morning. But well, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's similar to the banquet. And then I believe there's a Catholic version I called something else that's actually they call something different, and so I won't say the name.
Yeah.
Because I said it wrong before, and it's confusing for people. So I don't want to confuse. I confuse people
Well,
enough.
now we're even more confused.
Right,
just
exactly. So
saying.
there's different tracks that this follows, but
Okay.
it is open, and they're all built on the same premise, and at its core, the premise is drawing people closer to God. It doesn't matter where you are in your faith, and I think you might back this up.
Yeah.
It'll meet you whether you have a relationship with God, where you are with God, and it'll move you forward. It will meet you if you have no relationship with God, and it will give you that opportunity to know Him.
Yeah. There's been some people that every time they were asked, they denied, and then one day they finally gave in and said yes.
Yep.
And they never regretted going.
I think
my
RG
story.
has a
That's my
similar story. Right.
3.5 years,
Right.
I said no. I had more important things to do. That was quickly reversed. Probably the first 2 hours of being there was like, that was a lame excuse. And
Yeah.
so, but you know what? It's a timing thing, and it really is.
Well, his timing is perfect.
Right, and I would not have gotten. I cannot believe that I would have gotten there if I would have gone earlier, because
Right.
I would have gone not by my own sort of coming to that moment. It would have been more of a doing it to appease the people who wanted me to go.
Right.
And it was in the timing of my life where my life fell, and it worked out well.
Well, and that's a great picture of oftentimes when people come to Christ, when they start to develop their relationship, it is in His timing. And but we are still called to be that little, shoulder tapper, the little nudger,
Right.
and encourage people along, and don't stop asking.
Right,
You
and
might
that's
get
right,
no
exactly.
for 3.5 years or 25 years, but we're still,
Yeah.
it's still our job to ask.
Excellent.
When I was asked, I was compelled to say yes. And I knew that the Lord wanted me to be there.
Awesome.
He wanted me to experience with being there. And it even drawed me closer to Him.
Awesome. It's an amazing experience. I mean, I think now you've gone through it. And you can share it from your perspective, but you just don't have to worry about a thing.
No?
I mean,
We didn't.
food's taken care of, where you need to be, when you need to be, and
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about the clock. Somebody's got it taken care of for you. You
Yep.
just focus on God.
One thing they told us, not to have your cell phones or your watches. They wanted you to have your quality time with the Lord.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a chance to go, and I'm glad you had a good experience with it. So appreciate that.
I really enjoyed it.
Good deal. So we encourage folks. That's the Walk to Emmaus, and we'll use everything. I mean, if you end up in prison, we'll help you get through Kairos. So we'll tell folks God will find you wherever you are.
Right.
And there's
He will.
mechanisms for for making that connection. My brother and my cousin are, in fact, coming up next weekend for the Kairos at Westville. And we talked about Kairos Outside this past weekend to help support those women who have relatives incarcerated. And this is again, it's a group that have special needs, and that's not necessarily the right terms, but it's definitely some emotional and some weight that they carry. That when you get a group, we've talked about this, when you have someone that can relate to your condition, your situation, we were just talking about this yesterday, there are people cut out with that experience who can relate like no one else. And so you put a group of people together who know what that experience is like, and they can minister like no one else. And so it's just a matter of finding those groups and connecting people so that they can lift each other up and support each other.
They also had. I had a list of what they call reunion clubs, where they're like a support group where you go and it's a 4-day pilgrimages that carries on after you've been through this.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to one yet, but there's one coming up that I'm planning on going.
Excellent. Cool. Well, thanks, Alan. We thought we'd just have a quick little check-in with you there. We saw you walk by yesterday, and I thought, oh, that's right. He had gone through. Still got your cross on, which is cool. And good to hear. Good to hear.
One thing about this cross, from the day I got there until the day they handed it to me, which was the day I left, it was prayed over by several people, even the people behind the scenes.
Yeah. It's a powerful experience. I mean, it really shows you that there is a body of Christ in action, and it's a great. If you've never stopped down to see it or recognize it, it is unequivocally there for you to experience firsthand and to hear stories of how it's there and how it's worked in the background leading up to the event, through the event, and even going forward.
They even have people praying for people that they don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. So, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming in.
I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. And I think we're going to button up for the day as we head into the 9 o'clock hour. And we're trying to get a little control on our schedule, so we'll maybe be able to package it up a little bit better. But also work. That darn work thing just keeps beckoning to us, and then moving on to some other things. So, but anyway, thanks, Alan, for coming in.
This isn't work.
This is hard work. This is laborious. This is the hardest job we'll ever do during this period of time. Good morning. And but no, it's this is our fun way to kick off the day.
It is.
It is.
It is a fun way to kick off the day. Good morning,
Somebody else
honking
honking?
person.
So either someone was
Some-
turning left or
somebody
somebody
was
drove
honking.
straight through Lincoln Way and honked on their way by. I didn't see
Yep.
the car, so I
We'll just say
couldn't
good
recognize
morning.
it. Good morning
anyway.
to you, honker person, and thanks for your thoughts. As long as your thought was good. Let's see. So so we'll wrap up in the day. Tomorrow we'll be back. What's Wednesday? Frank's here.
Frank will be here.
I knew there's something going on Wednesday.
Right.
I'm like Frank.
Frankly speaking.
And Frank's been joining us out at. And when I say joining, he's actually been there first.
Wow.
Because my schedule has not allowed me to get out of here in a timely fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And so Frank's usually there waiting to be part of our midday gathering. Good morning. Our midday gathering out at the Living Faith. And so we encourage folks to come out and join us 5:30. And it's whatever you want it to be. I mean, it's some prayer time. It's some worship time. It's discussion, whatever's on your heart. And if you're there for 15 minutes or an hour, it's up to you. It's whatever you need to get in that period of time. So it's Living Faith out in Wanata, 5:30 tomorrow. Frank's here at 8 tomorrow, maybe 8:05.
Ish.
Yeah, that 8ish hour.
Yeah.
So we'll be there then. But as we talk about prayer time here, we continue to pray for Jim Norris, and I need to touch base with him. Just man, the days are gone. Oh, I will say this. Speaking of days gone. By the time I got done with things yesterday, you're listening to WITW 93.5 LPFM.
Valparaiso.
And it is just a tick or two after 9 o'clock. But Adam Kappa is coming to town the 11th of May. So we're talking, Building 429 is coming up. Adam Kappa. will be in concert at South Haven Christian. Our friends up at South Haven Christian are bringing him into town, and he's just him. He's not bringing Jeremy Camp with him, but we're happy to hear that, and we're excited, and we're going to try to get him in studio.
Cool.
And I'm not sure if it'll be in the morning or if we'll have to make arrangements for him when he comes into town later. And so I say that the connection to this is that there was a phone message on my phone, of all places, when I got done last night, and his folks from Nashville had called to try to make arrangements for him to
come in and chat?
Yeah, to come in and
Cool.
chat. So
Can you maybe let me know ahead of time so I can schedule accordingly?
yeah, well, as soon as I schedule it and know to schedule it accordingly, I will do that. So he is coming May the 11th. And the way they've done that is just been a free concert, and it's just a free
Sweet.
will offering, so
That's
people
cool.
can come up and take in the show, and Adam puts on a good show, and we've now the last couple of times I've seen him, it's been on the big stage with the
with
big
Jeremy
production and
Camp,
stuff.
right.
This will be a little more just a little more intimate, and just Adam, which is cool. And
Cool
unless they've
beans.
got somebody open in front, I haven't. Ed Cisco, who helps coordinate those things, had passed along my information to their folks, and so I need to follow up with Ed and see what the game plan for the show is. Are they doing anybody local to open, or
Well,
is he just doing his
we
own?
know a few people.
We do.
We could maybe.
I don't know.
help them out
Adam
there.
might have a tough rider. He may have pretty strict. I can't imagine that being the case. But I think he just got back from Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been all over the world in this Jeremy Camp whirlwind
That's
thing
pretty cool.
he's been with. Yeah. So, well, that'll be cool to catch up with. And we had talked to, speaking of Tuesdays, we had talked to him about doing a Testimony Tuesday thing too. So maybe we'll get one of those recorded while
We'll
he's
just
here.
keep him here for
We'll just record a bunch of
hours.
stuff. So anyway, that I thought I'd share briefly, but we'll get that scheduled and talked about as we get there. So, but prayers, as I mentioned, Jim Norris, we continue to pray for baby Stella's recovery. I can't say Stella. I just have to say baby Stella. Just
Baby
has a better
Stella.
flow to it. Keeps it realer.
I'm filtering.
Filtering what? What would you be filtering? Baby Stella. Maybe you should. Maybe you should just go in the corner for a little bit. I don't know where you're going with your filtering with baby Stella.
There was some clip from a movie I saw actually in church, so can't be that bad. It was a Will Ferrell movie, the little baby Jesus. I don't know the rest of the movie. I just know that part.
It was,
It's Will Ferrell. So
That movie
Thought I
where
should
he's like
filter.
a NASCAR driver.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I think there was one of the church support groups has put that out there. I think I've seen it online. They have it clipped out. Because you have to kind of edit that.
I'm
clip.
thinking it's a Will Ferrell movie,
Yeah. They're talking about how they picture Jesus. and
right? And he can't say
like-
Jesus unless he calls him little baby Jesus.
Baby
and
Jesus, because that's
so,
the way he pictures him.
So
Little
now
baby
you get
Jesus.
the whole baby Stella, baby.
So
It was funny.
it was. Kiefer, we continue to pray for
Yes.
for Kiefer. Pray for Kiefer, not K for prefer. And I was just looking down my list here. Tiny, as he continues to work through his recovery of things, and his. I think last night he had to go to Chicago for the funeral stuff. I think that's what. That was also-
Actually, he had to sing Saturday at the funeral.
yeah, I think they got moved. There was a miscommunication. I think it got moved back a little bit. So, either way, his family's going through that. And it was one of the things we prayed. We were praying for her, and hopefully that she had come to know God, in her time, and that she's in a much better place now. Seeing Frank, and we'll see Frank again tomorrow. But I know his mom's in the process of getting ready to move here in the next couple weeks, so there's some prayer for that. And I think that's who I have on my list. You had a couple people.
We do. Yeah, I want to say congratulations to Jose and Tina, and Christy and Nick,
Grandparents.
grandparents. Yes, Christy and Nick, first-time parents.
Sure.
Our little baby Tristan has made his arrival, and from the little teeny picture I could see on my phone, he's very cute. So congratulations and welcome.
That's a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
That is cute.
Yeah, he looks very cute. Not just cute, very cute.
Very cute.
Very cute. So just continued prayers for Todd Lisinski's family
Right.
and his son Brett
And your family.
and my family. Yeah, we could use some prayers.
Sure.
Who else? feels like I'm missing somebody.
I don't know. I think I was following my list here.
How about Cindy's sister, Teresa? How's she doing? think we should
Last I heard, she was
continue.
adjusting. Yeah, we
Yeah,
continue to pray
continue
for
to lift
her.
her up.
She was, last I heard, she was home and adjusting to her, kind of like the Kiefer situation. You know, there's a, it's not so much a recovery as there is recovery involved, but there's adjustment to the
Right.
new,
A
the new way
of
you have to
living.
go forward. Right.
Right.
So regardless of how well the recovery is going, there's a whole another thing of just adjusting to this new way of life. So yeah, we continue to lift up Teresa as well. All right.
Well, you know, I have a lot of friends. I happen to know a lot of people that are hurting right now. So we'll just continue to lift up all of those that are in the midst of a storm.
Will do. All right. And so we'll enter into prayer. Do you have any prayer things you want to share, Alan, since you're sitting here with us, joining us this morning?
Well, I got some friends that could use some prayer because of the death of my friend Becky's friend or daughter was murdered, and her husband's been in jail. They claim that he did it, and when he really didn't do it. But that's what he's reading the Bible in jail now,
Oh, good.
and he's wanting his wife to go to church. He kept insisting, telling his brother to tell Becky, go to church. And right now she's resisting it, but I pray that she will go.
Good.
But
yeah.
she's going through some troubles
yeah.
at times, too.
Yeah. That's good that he has that thought, that foresight, and that prayer for her. So yeah, we'll pray for her as well. All right. Do you want to do our little summary prayer, or how are we doing this? How do we want to? You've been trying to get a handle on our whole prayer thing. I just was following your lead on this.
Well, I do.
I also seem to be losing my voice.
I do typically concede prayer time or the leadership of prayer to if there are men in the room, as I believe that is. I don't know. I don't know if that's old baggage that I have, or if that's
New baggage.
customary or new baggage. Or I just feel like if there are men present, then they are to be the spiritual leaders in the moment. So if you would like to wrap up and
That's
summarize,
fine.
if not, I
Nope, that's fine. Didn't know.
Upright.
Well, we had been doing like sort of the around the room thing, and
Right.
then you were trying to get it in one. So, that's fine. I'll wrap up in prayer here.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this morning and taking time to honor and recognize you in our lives and the role that you have for us, the capacity for you to touch us in different places where we are. That whether it's in a very specifically gathered group of men like the Emmaus, and obviously you had an amazing move there and touched lives and touched lives for the first time in their recollection or their awareness, and certainly for others who know you, you're able to lift those up and recharge them and refresh them and get them back on the way to reach out to others. We know that there are other opportunities for this, and these are coming up, and we pray for hearts to be open, for those that may be hardened to be softened, so that they may hear the word of your saving grace and draw closer to you. There are a lot of folks that are working hard to put these things in place, and there's probably some stress levels that are starting to go up, but comfort them. Let them know that it will happen. You have this. We just need to do what it is that we can do and are supposed to do, and as long as we're diligent, you'll make sure what needs to happen happens. We've mentioned a number of names here this morning that we want to lift up, and we do hope that you can shine a little brighter in their darkness where it's needed. Reach down that I know you reach down, but again, we hope that those that need to know you just turn to you. That's all they need to do. They just need to turn to you to know that you're there for them. We're blessed to have Alan with us here this morning, and it's awesome to hear that he was able to have the experience that he had this weekend, and then he goes forward strengthened in your word. And we do the same. We appreciate this opportunity to set our day with you and looking forward with you as well. And we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
So we'll be back tomorrow with Frank, and we hope everybody has a great day. I'm not even ready to move forward. There's a couple buttons that need to be pushed in the appropriate order, and I'm not quite ready there yet. So let me do that, and okay. I think I'm there now. So we hope that everybody has a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow with Frank. And don't forget, if you're looking for a little something to do for eating today, you can you can join the Can You Eat It?
Right. Everybody needs to eat, so why not eat at Cadoba?
That's funny. I just hit the wrong button to clear my throat.
You'll
Wow,
have
that was kind of
sometimes.
loud. I didn't hear that. Wait, what? Hey, this isn't working. That's because it's not supposed to. So, yeah, so that's and we'll put a few of these things out on our board, or if you want me to drop one by and you're around the area, I'll be out a little bit later around lunchtime. So, be happy to help out however we can with this one. And so it's all day. I still got to figure out that I'm opening at 7.
Right. I know. I want to know what they're
Still kind of
serving.
baffling. Morning.
Good morning. Wait a minute.
Wait, exactly. That's weird. That's weird. So anyway, that was Oscar Lisa
Office
just
Girl.
walking in. So
Right.
maybe there's something going on this morning.
Huh.
But anyway, hope everybody has a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with Frank. And speaking of people at South Haven Christian, this is Lindsay McCall. She was there earlier this year.
Cool.
Have a great day, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
Yay.
In my head.